Hello SDT students, this is the revision video for class 10th chemistry. So first thing is, what is chemical reaction? Reaction is said to be occur if there is a reaction is said to be occur if there is a chemical change. For example, we have hydrogen plus oxygen. If hydrogen and oxygen combine together, then definitely there will be a new substance will form, that is water. We can balance it also. So when two molecules of hydrogen reacts with the one molecule of oxygen to give a new chemical substance, that is water. Here water is totally different from the hydrogen and oxygen. So now we can see there is a chemical change, a new chemical substance is formed. We can say what is this? This is chemical reaction. So if there is any chemical change, then definitely a new substance will form, and the process or the process is called a chemical reaction, right? But the representation of a chemical reaction with the physical state with the balance number of atoms is called chemical equation. Representation of a chemical reaction with the physical state and with the balanced number of atoms is called a chemical equation, right? So we represent reactions, that is called a chemical equation. Now, what a chemical equation convey us? First, physical state of reactant and a product. Physical state of a reactant and a product. The reactants are the species which participate in reactions are called reactant, and after the reaction, the substance formed, that is called a product. So by a chemical equation, we can know the physical state of reactant as well as a product. Second, number of molecules of reactant as well as a product. Here we can say two molecules of hydrogen combines with one molecule of oxygen to give two molecules of water. Third, we can understand the reaction or type of reaction. What type of reaction is this? This is addition reaction. Why? Hydrogen and oxygen combining together to form water. Right? Now next is we have types of reactions. First is addition reaction. As the name indicates, when two or more reactants combine together to form a new substance, new product, that type of reaction is called addition reaction. For example, we have carbon plus oxygen to give CO2. We can see carbon and oxygen combine together to form a new substance, that is CO2 in gas form. Right? We can also write the general format A plus B to give AB. Simple. When two or more reactants combine together to form a new substance, or we can say addition reactions are also called combination reactions. Right? Second is just opposite of it, decomposition reaction. Reaction is said to be decomposition reaction when a reactant splits into two or more new products. Dissociation of a reactant takes place. For example, we have calcium carbonate. If we heat it, then it will give calcium oxide plus CO. Here we can see addition, but here we can see dissociation, splitting of a reactant molecule to give two or more new products. So now question is here, justify addition reactions and decomposition reaction are just opposite of each other. Here combination takes place, but here decomposition or dissociation takes place. So we can say decomposition reactions are dissociation reactions, and definitely in decomposition reactions we require energy. Now this energy can be in the form of sunlight, can be in the form of heat, can be in the form of electricity. If energy is provided in the form of sunlight, then a reaction is called photolytic decomposition. If energy is provided in the form of heat, then reaction is called thermal dissociation. And if energy is provided in the form of electricity or current, then reaction is said electrolytic decomposition. Photolytic decomposition when energy is given in the form of sunlight. Thermal decomposition when energy is given in the form of heat. And electrolytic decomposition when energy is given in the form of electricity. Now let's see examples of these three reactions. Very important for CBSE. If silver chloride is exposed to sunlight, then it splits to give silver and chlorine. We can see energy is in the form of sunlight, so it is a photolytic decomposition. Second, if we heat calcium carbonate, then we will obtain calcium oxide and CO2 gas is released. Now energy is in the form of heat, so it is a thermal decomposition. Third, if large amount of electricity or current is passed from water, then it splits to give hydrogen and oxygen gas. So energy is given in the form of electricity. So it is a electrolytic decomposition. Actually, lytic word is common in these three. Lytic means breakdown, right? So we have three types of reactions: photolytic decomposition, thermal decomposition, and electrolytic decomposition. CBSE has asked many times these type of questions or examples. Give example of electrolytic decomposition, give example of thermal decomposition, give example of photolytic decomposition. And second question is, addition and decomposition reactions are just opposite of each other. Now we have third reaction. Displacement reaction. As the name indicates, here one element will displace other element, and the criteria is reactivity of a metal. High reactive elements displace less reactive elements in a chemical reaction. For example, we have sodium plus HCl. Sodium plus HCl. We know sodium is more reactive than hydrogen, so it will displace hydrogen. We can balance it. So criteria is a high reactive element displace less reactive element from its compound HCl. Second example is we have potassium plus H2SO4. Now potassium is more reactive than hydrogen. It will displace hydrogen to give potassium sulfate plus hydrogen gas. And we have discussed it also in chapter number 3, metals. Metals displace less reactive element from its compound to form a new compound. Right? Fourth is double displacement reaction. Very simple again. When mutual exchange of elements takes place. If there is a double displacement, mutual exchange of elements, for example, one element, second element, they displace their positions, right? Example, silver nitrate plus NaCl to double displacement NaNO3 plus AgCl. Now we can add one more thing in this reaction. This is also a precipitation reaction. What is precipitation reaction? If a solid's insoluble mass is formed during a reaction, for example, this silver chloride is in solid form and solid insoluble substance is called a precipitate. Right? So precipitation reaction is a type of a double displacement reaction. If during a reaction a solid insoluble substance is formed and it is called precipitate, and the reaction is called a precipitation reaction. Another example of double displacement reaction is also neutralization reaction. As the name indicates, it will be the reaction of acid and a base. For example, we have HCl, base NaOH. What will happen? Double displacement. Now, this is strong acid, strong base. They interact with each other to neutralize effect of each other to give a neutral product. Now, NaCl is here, neutral. So, double displacement reactions are of two types: neutralization reaction and precipitation reaction. So, these are the four basic reactions. Next reactions are on the basis of energy. On the basis of energy, reactions are of two types: endothermic reaction and exothermic reaction. If during a reaction energy is required or observed or gained by reactant molecules, then reaction is called endothermic reaction. Here energy is required or observed by reactant molecules. But opposite, exothermic, if during a reaction energy is If energy is released, then reaction is exothermic thermic reaction, and if energy is required by reactant molecules, then reaction is called endothermic reaction. We have seen three examples: photolytic decomposition, thermal decomposition, and electrolytic decomposition. In all these three actions, we provided energy. So all those three examples are of endothermic reaction. Again, right, energy is required. Exothermic reaction: if a piece of sodium is dropped in water, if a piece of sodium is dropped in a water, then sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen gas is released, plus large amount of energy is released. So if energy is released, then it is exothermic reaction, and if energy is required, then it is endothermic reaction. Right. Next, last type is redox reaction. Redox reactions. Red stands for reduction, ox stands for oxidation. So a redox reaction involves reduction and oxidation. A reaction is said to be redox reaction if there is a reduction and oxidation simultaneously. Now, what is this reduction? Reduction is removal of oxygen and addition of hydrogen. If there is a removal of oxygen and addition of hydrogen, then reaction is said to be reduction, and oxidation is just opposite of it. Removal of hydrogen and addition of oxygen. If oxygen is added, means oxidized, and if oxygen is removed, then reduced. So a reaction is said to be redox reaction if there is a reduction and oxidation simultaneously. For example, we have zinc oxide plus carbon monoxide. After the reaction, we obtain calcium, zinc plus CO2. We can see here we have zinc oxide, but here we have only zinc. So from zinc oxide to zinc, oxygen is removed, and removal of oxygen is called reduction. So this is reduction. On the second hand, we have here we have carbon monoxide, but after the reaction we have carbon dioxide, means oxygen is added. So from carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide, what is this? This is a oxidation. Reduction, oxidation. So now we can say this is a redox reaction, right? All these three reactions, all these type of reactions we have discussed in chapter number 3 also. Chapter number 3 was a metal and a non-metal, right? I am going to give a blueprint of chapter number 3 also. Metal react with acid to give metal salt, and hydrogen gas is released. It is the characteristics property of metals. Metal displace hydrogen from acids. For example, we have potassium. Acid is H2SO4. Now potassium is more reactive than hydrogen, so it will displace. It is a displacement reaction also. But the metals which are less reactive than hydrogen, they will never react with the acid, like copper, mercury, silver, gold, platinum. They will never react with the acid. because they are least reactive or less reactive. Second, metal react with oxygen to give metal oxide. The reaction of metal with oxygen is also dependent on the reactivity of metals. High reactive metals, they react vigorously with the oxygen to give metal oxide. Metal react with chlorine to give metal chlorides. Metal react with hydrogen to give metal hydrides. Metal react with nitrogen to give metal nitride. Right? Reaction with oxygen, metal oxide. Reaction with chlorine, metal chloride. Reaction with hydrogen, metal hydrides. Reaction with the nitrogen, metal nitrides. Now one more reaction. Reaction of metals with the water. Now we have three conditions: reaction of metal with cold water, reaction of metal with hot water, and reaction of metal with steam. It is again all dependent on reactivity of metal. High reactive metals like sodium, potassium, calcium, they react with the cold water. Reaction will be if a piece of sodium is dropped in water, then sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas is released plus large amount of energy is released, and this energy is sufficient to ignite the hydrogen. Here hydrogen gas will burn. We will see is fire in the container or beaker, right? But metals which are intermediate reactive, they react with the hot water, like magnesium. Magnesium plus water to give magnesium hydroxide plus H2. Here energy will not release because magnesium is less reactive than sodium, potassium, calcium. But least reactive metal like aluminium, zinc, iron, they react with the steam. Now steam is water in gaseous form, or we can say temperature is 100 degrees Celsius. So reaction is now slightly different. Instead of a hydroxide, we will obtain oxide. For example, we have iron Fe plus H2 in gaseous form. It will give a metal oxide, iron oxide. Right? If we have aluminium, so reaction with steam is slightly differ from a reaction with hot water and cold water. In case of cold water and hot water, we obtain hydroxide, but in case of steam, we obtain oxides. Right? So watch the video and revise it for a test. Thank you.